So I, 19 female, found out my stepdad was cheating on my mom, and now my whole family thinks I'm the idiot. Here's what happened. I was at a coffee shop the other day just grabbing a latte and trying to chill a bit. As I'm sitting there, I see my stepdad walk in. It was nothing weird at first, I just assumed he was getting coffee too. But then our next door neighbour walks in right behind him and they sit down together. They were super close, and at first I thought maybe it was just a friendly catch-up or something, but they started holding hands across the table, and at one point he leaned over and kissed her, right there in the middle of the cafe. I felt sick. My mom has been through so much, and I couldn't believe he'd do this to her. I tried to tell myself it wasn't real, but I knew I had to let her know. So I snapped a couple of photos on my phone just in case she needed proof, and later that night I showed her. She was devastated. I mean, who wouldn't be? She confronted him, and things have been a mess since then. She's been talking about leaving him, and they're arguing all the time. Now, here's where it gets worse. Somehow, everyone in my family found out what happened, and they all think I made a huge mistake by telling her. My aunts and uncles are saying I shouldn't have gotten involved, that it was a grown-up issue, and that I basically ruined their marriage. They keep saying my mom and stepdad would have worked things out eventually, and I'm the reason they're falling apart. I'm honestly so confused and hurt by all this. I thought I was doing the right thing by not letting my mom stay in the dark, but now everyone's making me feel like I made everything worse. So, am I the idiot for telling my mom about the affair and ruining their marriage? There's only one person who ruined their marriage, and that's the cheater. You did what any loved one should do. It's very concerning that so many people in your family seem to think that cheating is acceptable. It makes me wonder how many of them have cheated. Very clearly not the idiot. If you keep this secret, your mom would feel betrayed by you when it all came out later. Also, their argument makes no sense. They would have worked things out eventually. How could they work it out when your mom knew nothing about it? Sooner or later, everything comes out. OP, you did the right thing, and now you also know not to trust any family members blaming you. If they think you should have ignored him cheating and lied to your mom, they are not good people. P.S. I don't know if your mom has a good hand for choosing a good guy. Learn from her mistakes so you don't need to repeat them yourself. I, female 47, had a friend group of ladies that planned trips once or twice a year, at least 6 months in advance. Earlier this year, they collected deposits for a 7-day cruise in March leaving out of Miami. I recently had a question about cancelling the overnight accommodation because, by coincidence, I'll already be in Florida, just an hour away from the port of Miami during the departure week, so I don't need overnight accommodations before disembarking. Instead of using the group chat, I used Facebook Messenger to let the person in charge of the hotel reservations know about my change in plans, but she wasn't showing up in Messenger as she had before. I looked for her on Facebook and she wasn't coming up either, so I just went to Instagram to PM her. Same thing on Instagram. I contacted another friend in the group by text and asked if Kara's information had changed, and she responded somewhat confusedly. She then called me back and asked me why I was asking, and I told her my change in plans and how I couldn't seem to get in touch with her because I wanted to see about my deposit being refunded. She went silent on the phone for a few seconds and said she wanted to meet for lunch. When I asked her why we would need to meet for lunch when all I needed to do was to get in touch with one of our mutual travel buddies, she said that Kara most likely blocked me but was moody and did stuff like that all the time. Her response on the phone made me feel like more was going on, but she didn't want to get into specifics. I then contacted the lead trip planner and told them I was pulling out because I no longer felt comfortable going. It felt weird knowing Kara had purposely blocked me while I didn't know why. She said she understood why I felt uncomfortable, but if I backed out they would lose the group discount for everything from transfers to a scheduled tour, and the remaining 5 ladies would have to make up the difference. I still cancelled. Now I'm getting messages from the rest of the group saying that I'm being dramatic and it's an idiot move on my part to back out. One even suggested that I should be trying to clear things up with Kara personally and not let this affect the trip. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. So they knew Kara blocked you and why but won't tell you? That's crappy of all of them. Sounds like they wanted you to come for the group discount but don't respect you enough to tell you the truth. I doubt you'll be going on any more trips with these ladies though. I ditched the group altogether since it's clear they all knew and seemed fine with it until they lost the discount. The fact that Kara was dumb enough to block you when you were one of the people whose hotel reservation she was managing and no one saw how that might be an issue is just the final nail in the coffin. If Cara is such a drama queen that it costs them their group discount, then she can cover the difference, or she can find a new person to take your place. The reality is that this grown woman has a problem with you. All the other grown women in the group knew this and nobody said anything. They would let you go on this trip and then be cool with Cara icing you out and making things uncomfortable for the entire group. It's a blessing in disguise, trust me. I, 29 female, have been hosting an annual family reunion for the past few years, and this year it will be a little more special since it's also my 30th birthday celebration. I've been planning for a few months now, and after discussing it with my parents and siblings, I decided to make it a no-kids event. I love my family, but the reunions have gotten a bit chaotic with kids running around. I wanted to create a more relaxed environment where adults could catch up without worrying about the kids. Now, my sister-in-law, 35, has 2 young kids, kindergartner and pre-tween, and she's upset about the no-kids rule. She's made it clear that she thinks it's unfair, and she's been going on and on about how the kids will be bored and that it's unreasonable to not let them come. She even said, "It's your birthday, but you're making it about yourself instead of about family." I've tried to explain that I love her kids, but I just wanted a peaceful, kid-free event this year, especially since it's a milestone birthday. She insists the reunion should be for the whole family, including her kids. A few days ago, she texted me and said that she and her husband won't attend if her kids can't come. She also mentioned that she doesn't trust anyone else to look after her kids and would rather not go than leave them with a sitter. Honestly, I was a little frustrated by her attitude. I told her that if she's unwilling to respect my wishes and can't come without the kids, she's not invited. I know that sounds harsh, but I've been nothing but accommodating, and she's been dismissive of my wishes. My brother, 32, is now upset with me, and some of my other relatives think I'm being too strict. They say it's not worth losing family over, and that it's just one day, I should let her bring the kids so it doesn't cause drama. But I feel like I've been very clear about what I want for my event, and I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for a child-free gathering. I need help understanding the concept of a family reunion that doesn't include children. I've never heard of it. That sounds really odd to me, and you're referring to it as your event seems strange as well. I understand you're hosting, but it's a family reunion. It's not really an event about you. If I was invited to a family reunion and told to leave my children at home, I wouldn't attend. The point of a family reunion is to get to spend time with your family, including children. If my children aren't going to get the opportunity to get to know the family, what's the point? That's rude and stupid and will obviously lead to conflict and drama. It's laughable that you claim it's a family reunion because it clearly is not a family reunion. You are the idiot. If you want a birthday party, plan one. Don't change the family reunion to revolve around you. Your sister-in-law is right. You're making this all about you. If it was truly a family reunion, it would be about family, not about your milestone birthday. So I, 50 male, have 3 kids. Sarah, 35 female, Jessica, 25 female, and Ben, 23 female. My wife and I had Sarah when we were both 16. It wasn't easy, but with both our parents' support, we could finish college while we raised her. When it was time for her to go to college, we didn't have the money to help her. So she took out loans and paid for them herself. We learned from our mistakes and started saving for her siblings Jessica and Ben, who got around a $100,000 college fund and had no debt. Through all of this, Sarah never complained. She finished her education, got a fantastic job, and could repay the loans in 3 years while staying with us to save as much as possible. She's also helped us a lot with babysitting her younger siblings and has always been selfless and helped out in any way she could, maybe even to a fault. So when she told me 5 years ago that she was getting married, I talked to my wife and told her how bad I felt we never did anything for her, and that I wanted to give her the inheritance I got from my grandmother, which was around $50,000, to help pay for her wedding and down payment on the house. Luckily, my wife agreed, and even though she didn't really need it, I know it meant a lot to her. The issue is this. Jessica is getting married next year, and she had assumed we would plan a similar gift for her. She was quite surprised when I told her that we'd never discussed such plans, and even if we wanted to, we didn't have the budget for it. She told us it wasn't fair that we paid for her sister but wouldn't do the same for her. I tried to explain the situation, telling her that we spent twice as much on her and her brother in the long run as we did on Sarah. However, she insisted that Sarah was already well off, noting that Sarah and her husband had paid off their house and were doing extremely well financially. I told her that this had nothing to do with how much money her sister had, This was us finally being able to do something for our oldest child, who had to sacrifice so much because we had her at such a young age. She didn't take it well, left angry, and won't speak to us. My wife thinks we should maybe take out a small loan and give her the money because she isn't used to not talking to her kids and is sad she's being left out of the wedding preparations. She's even afraid of us not getting invited to the wedding. But I've put my foot down and won't budge because she's not entitled to our money. Now even Sarah is saying that this is getting out of hand and even offered to help pay half the money. But personally, I'm at a point where I'd rather burn the $50,000 than give it to her. Sarah and my wife think that this is not worth destroying our family over, but I think that giving in will only make her more entitled in the long run. Not the idiot. One child got a funded education and one child got a wedding. College girl is probably an entitled brat because she got the higher ticket item. Sarah sounds like an incredible daughter for even offering to help give her younger, spoiled sister money that she's not entitled to. You did something right there at least. Yeah, she's ignoring the $100,000 college education for which she didn't need to get loans. If she wants equal rights, then OP should offer her the wedding fund in exchange for paying back the $100,000. That would be true equality. OP, this is exactly what you should tell your daughter. Children don't owe their parents anything, but she's an adult and should be able to understand she already had her $50,000 and more. Maybe your wife's indulgence of your youngest is why she's so entitled. I, 36 female, have been with my husband Jake, 47, for 6 years, married for 4. He has a daughter, Jenna, 19, with his ex-wife Susan. Jake and Susan's marriage began deteriorating during the pregnancy and they were separated by Jenna's first birthday and divorced before her second. They don't have a friendly relationship. They're cordial for Jenna and polite to one another, but they never just chat for the sake of it, and there's zero warmth in any of their interactions. Despite this, they both agreed that they never wanted their daughter to have to choose between them for the big holidays, so they've been spending every Thanksgiving and Christmas together for the last 19 years, with me joining the last 4. It's fine, it's very awkward and feels like something everyone is just trying to get through, but it's uneventful. There's no drama or anything crazy, but it's not fun or festive. I was under the impression that this would end when Jenna reached adulthood, since Jake complains about it every year, but last year was Jenna's first year home from college, so he wanted everything to be normal. I'm pretty close with Jenna, and last year after we left Susan's on Christmas Day, Jenna texted me joking about how dull the evening was and then said she didn't know why they were still keeping this up. And I was like, please tell your dad because he will insist on it for your sake until you do. She said she would and we started talking about other things, but it didn't come up again until this year. Jenna's spending Thanksgiving with her new friend's family this year, so luckily it's just the one holiday to deal with this year. We were texting last month while she was starting to make plans to come home for Christmas. She brought up how she wasn't looking forward to another Christmas, and I encouraged her again to tell her dad how she felt. She brought it up with both of her parents and said she would do Christmas Eve with one and Christmas with the other. Great. At some point, she mentioned to her mother that I'd encouraged her to talk to her parents, and now Susan has decided that I manipulated Jenna to get what I want, which I did want, but I don't feel I manipulated anyone, and is blowing up Jake's phone. This is the most they've spoken in years, and Jake is not quite, but almost agreeing with her. I.e., well, I know you didn't like going, maybe Jenna was just reading how you felt, which makes me feel like I'm going crazy. Not the idiot. Jenna's 19, not 9. If her parents can't handle her having preferences, that's a them problem, not a you problem. However, it does look like you're going to be turned into the scapegoat. Jenna made it clear that she wasn't enjoying this and she came up with the solution herself. You just supported her. It sounds like this went on too long for anyone to be comfortable and you've all missed out on festive holidays as a result. This is my take too. They're going to make it all OP's fault. If OP talked to the daughter through text, I would simply hand my phone to my husband to let him read the messages, and then I would say something like, I appreciate you thinking the worst of me, that I would manipulate your daughter to get my way. I love how much faith and confidence you have in my character. Then I would walk away and probably be seriously considering if I wanted to stay with a man who would assume the worst of me or believe that I would do something like that. Sorry, OP, this is a big problem, and it's not okay. I, 30 female, recently got a huge career opportunity. It's a remote project abroad that would double my current salary. I'd only be gone for 6 months and the contract would allow me to come back with significant savings to help pay off my student loans and save for the future. When I told my boyfriend, 32, about it, he wasn't thrilled. He said he didn't like the idea of me being gone for that long and joked that he couldn't survive without me. At first I thought it was sweet, but then the conversation took a turn. He told me straight up, 6 months is a long time, I might have to find someone else to keep me company while you're gone. I laughed at first because I assumed he was joking, but he doubled down saying, I'm just being honest, you can't expect me to wait around for half a year. I told him the comment hurt me, but he brushed it off, saying I was being dramatic and that I should loosen up. I've been in relationships where I wasn't valued, and I've worked hard never to let that happen again, so I ended things right there. Now he's blowing up my phone saying I overreacted and that he didn't mean it. He's telling our mutual friends that I'm selfish for prioritizing my career over our relationship. Some of them think I should have at least talked it out more, but I feel like his reaction showed his true colors. Am I the idiot for ending things with my boyfriend? Not the idiot, and he literally said, I'm just being honest, you can't expect me to wait around for half a year. You did the right thing. He's telling our mutual friends that I'm selfish for prioritizing my career over our relationship. Set the record straight with those friends. He said he was going to cheat on me and wouldn't wait for me if I took this amazing opportunity. Take it and don't look back. Yup, this is about sabotaging your new job. He threatened to cheat on you if you left, and when you called his bluff, the truth came out. Dump his narcissistic self. He thinks he can't be alone for 6 months. Well, let him have at it. And don't fall for this, I didn't mean it crap. You obviously can do much better than this guy. What an arrogant moron. Enjoy your travels, hun.